Hey, AJ Hartley here, novelist, Shakespeare professor, fan of many things, some of which I'm going to talk to you about now. A little while ago I did a sort of general update, news items and things like that, which some people found helpful, so I'm doing that again. I'm going to talk about some things that are in the works, some things that are already available, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about DragonCon, which is where I was a week ago. So, before I do anything else, let me say a thank you and welcome to BABYMETAL. Some of you may have noticed in my last couple of videos that there is a significant improvement in the overall production quality of what I'm recording. Needless to say, that's not coming from me. That is coming from BABYMETAL, who's working with me as an editor. And you should check out BABYMETAL's BABYMETAL blog page, where there's lots of cool stuff. Second thing, for readers of the Sekret Machines books that I write with Tom DeLonge of Blink-182, Angels and Airwaves, the second book in the series, A Fire Within, has just come out in paperback for the first time, so that is already out and available. Tom and I were going to do some kind of in-person event in LA, but our schedules can't really mesh at the moment. He's incredibly busy and I'm in the middle of my semester, so we will probably do some kind of like Ask Me Anything video thing soon, so keep an eye open for that. People, on the subject of the Sekret Machines books, people keep asking me when is book 3 coming out, and the answer is I don't know. I've seen a lot of misinformation online saying, oh, the book is already written, it's ready to go, but we have decided to hold it back for some reason. That is not the case. The book is not remotely done and is not ready to go, and it's not something that I have any control over. There are, as P.G. Woodhouse would say, wheels within wheels. There's lots of stuff going on and we are kinda at the mercy of those other things. Hello Sherlock, what are you doing? Live video, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, so what else is coming up? I'm planning some more videos in my Japanese folklore, yokai culture discussions, and I'm going to be working on those for a while, I think, partly because they are connected to my next novel project, which is the Hideki Smith book. Hey, darling, how you doing? Which is the novel which involves a lot of Japanese culture, but it's actually set here in North Carolina. It's a book that I have written with my wife and son. And that has just gone into the developmental edits with my UK publisher. I think we've decided that we're going to do most of the developmental stuff with the UK publisher and then get the US edition up to speed thereafter. So hopefully this will be out maybe next year. We'll be doing editing throughout this fall semester, moving towards the end of the year, going from developmental edit to copy edits and line edits and final proofing, while they also work on cover art and things like that. But it's an exciting project, and so I'll keep you guys informed as it develops. The other thing I was going to say is, I don't know if you caught it, but a couple of weeks ago I also put up a video about a South African fundraiser which I'm running. I've done these before. This is connected to a friend of mine, Brilliant Makubele in South Africa, who I've worked with many times, and we're just trying to raise some money to build a house for a family. So I'll include the link in the description so that you can check that out, and if you have a little spare change and you can make a donation, that would be really appreciated. In terms of other upcoming videos, and as ever I'm open to suggestions or ideas, for other upcoming videos I'm gonna have some more BABYMETAL cocktail ideas, because I've been working on those and some of them are really good. Cheers. Yes, that's the cayenne pepper in there. And I also will be doing a BABYMETAL song discussion on one of the songs that I have never talked about. You can probably figure out. It's a very, very short list of songs I haven't discussed. So, but yeah, finally we had some minor developments that have allowed me to to feel like this is something that I can address. But I'll keep you in suspense as to what it is, but watch this space and it should be up soon. Lastly, I think I was just going to tell you a little about DragonCon. As I said, I was there this past weekend. I go pretty much every year. It's always in Atlanta. It's always Labor Day weekend. And last year, some of you will recall, we did a BABYMETAL panel with some of the guys from the BABYMETAL podcast. Unfortunately, we couldn't make that work this year, and I think the general feeling was that we didn't feel like we had enough to talk about given what has been going on with BABYMETAL. Hopefully that will change, and hopefully, even if it doesn't, we'll do something similar next year, maybe including some other Japanese rock bands as well, which is something I would like to do. And DragonCon it's a fan convention. It's mostly science fiction and fantasy rooted, but basically anything that has a fan base, you'll find people there on panels or fan groups of one kind or another. And it really is a fan convention. The numbers were a little bit down from the general. They were not as much as last year. COVID obviously has had an effect on these things. I think there were about 65,000 people there this time. It's a 4-day event, so that's a lot of people in and around sort of 5 downtown hotels. And I go obviously as a writer. I finished up including sort of a couple of signing events. I think I was on 18 panels in the course of the weekend. That included a couple of sort of entertainment things. I was on something called a fantasy dating game, which was truly excruciating. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I didn't really understand what was happening, but people seemed to have a good time, so that's good. And there was something called Temporal Jeopardy, a kind of game show based on history, and I was one of the panelists, and I won! I mean, I don't know that anybody was taking it particularly seriously, but I felt quite pleased with myself. The rest of the time I was on panels, and those panels mostly are about writing. Because I write lots of different things, I tend to finish up on lots of different tracks within the convention. So I'm on the sort of standard fantasy writing, the writing track, but I'm also on urban fantasy. I'm also on sometimes horror, sci-fi. Sometimes I'm always on middle grade and young adult because I write not just for adults, and I always finish up on the alternate history track as well. So it was a really, really busy kind of weekend, as it always is, and I think I got like 18,000 steps on Friday, just going from one panel to the next, to the next, to the next, and navigating the crowds. But I will say that, it's work for me. It's fun, but it is work to do these kind of things. But one of the reasons that I keep going back is that, well, a couple of things. I get to see other writers, some of whom I only ever see at these conventions, who I've known for years. And we get to get together and just hang out, but also talk about what we're doing, talking about what's working for us, either on a craft level or in a market level. We get to talk about the state of the industry, which at the moment is pretty bad. I don't know if you've been following it, but some of the stuff that has been coming out from Barnes & Noble, some of the stuff that has been coming out of the Penguin Random House Simon & Schuster merger is indicative of an industry, if not in collapse, then at least in crisis. And as usual, the people who sort of suffer the most are the authors. If we sort of massively reduce the number of books for sale in the major retail store in the country, and strip it down to just the biggest selling titles, that excludes the vast majority of authors. And this is in keeping with what we're seeing from the merger numbers as well. It suggests that very, very few writers are making any money at all. And when I say any money at all, I mean like very, very small amounts, a few $1,000s a year kind of thing. So this is another way of saying, support your favorite authors, whoever they are. Hopefully my books are in there, and in which case, buy books, talk about books, review books. Reviewing books is a huge thing. You know, I don't think people realize what a difference it makes, how it affects things like Amazon algorithms and stuff like that. So please support whatever author you like. These are the people who generate the content that everybody's watching on TV and movies and stuff, but it comes from the writing. So anyway, you know, there's a lot of fun to be had in those kind of conversations, though some of it is a bit doom and gloomy at the moment. But one of the other great things about DragonCon is that it's basically a 4-day party, and people dress up, and the DragonCon costumes are extraordinary. And one of the things that makes them extraordinary is that unlike some of the other big conventions like Comic-Con in San Diego, these costumes are all built by fans. The people who are wearing them have made them. That's often not the case at some of these conventions where the costumes are provided by studios who are looking to promote a particular show or something like that. You don't get that at DragonCon. So you get to wander around and check out all these amazing costumes, and some of them are incredibly intricate and carefully made, and some of them are sort of thrown together, but there's often a sort of, you know, a joke, some wit, or a little, you know, sexiness, but more than anything else, it's fun, and it's about devotion to things that you like and things that all these people like. DragonCon, I found mostly a pretty inclusive and tolerant environment. Like at most fantasy conventions, there are problems, of course, but I think if you're into this stuff, then you're welcome. And that's what I love about it. And so you get to sort of see all these amazing things that people have put together because it's a particular show they really like or whatever. And I will happily just walk around, you know, the Marriott main lobby and just check out costumes and stuff. I think it's really fun, and it's a great testimony to the sort of creativity and inventiveness and fun of that people have who like this stuff. So if you ever get a chance to go to DragonCon or to other kinds of conventions, I think you know, you should check it out. It's really cool. And that's all. I think I'm going to leave it at that. I want to keep this short so that there's going to be more sort of content heavy stuff coming out soon, as I said. In the meantime, as ever, like, comment, subscribe, check out my Patreon page, check out my books if you haven't done so already, and if you do read my books, please review them, talk to other people about them, and not just my books, but any of the stuff that you see that appeals to you. Please support it, because writers need it. All right, that's all. I will talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye.